I couldn't be proud of the group I have right now, to be honest. I think from the time we got here and got to see him for the first time in January till now, we've taken a lot of steps forward. So to be honest with you, I'm really excited about what I have in my room. Really excited.
What's the biggest difference between what they're doing right now and what they were doing when you first saw them?
The intentional approach that they've had to this point, understanding that it is a day-by-day thing, not being result-driven. Like, it's about the process, and them starting to figure out what that actually looks like it's been a joy to see, actually. I think even through winning edge, through spring ball, to where we are right now, and even today, we had probably a little bit of a lapse, like in our middle. We came out a little flat, and understanding that's what gets you beat too. So you can't relax on it, understanding that it's about process, not results. So.
Has it helped to have some more veteran guys at the top of this room? I mean, CJ's been in a couple programs now. I guess so is Trey. Not only as much as he's played, like, is that helping at all with that mental approach?
Totally. I think you always kind of want guys who have played a lot of ball in your room because they know they felt it in a game. There's always, coming in as a young guy, there's always that first time you've got to actually understand what it looks like to play snaps on the field, and it's different than practice. It is. So, like, the value CJ Nunnally, for instance, being able to, like, he's played a lot of ball in a lot of places. So he knows what it feels like on game day in a lot of aspects. To be honest, after that, I don't have a lot of guys in my room that have played a lot of football, but it's trying to get them ready for it out here, making sure their approach is right. But honestly, I think we're at a point right now, if we can continue taking steps forward and understanding what it's supposed to look like, it shouldn't be a surprise when we get to Ball State. I think that they'll be ready to go. CJ, Trey, Breon, all the guys. I'm excited about where they're at, and I think they've taken the right steps to put themselves in position to be ready. So.
Landon Brooks is a guy that one of the other guys mentioned. And
yeah.
I know he's a freshman, but he's got the body.
Totally.
What can he do with somebody that's just got that frame?
He's moldable. One thing about Landon, so yes, he's got the frame, he's got the body type. He's put on about 20 pounds since he's been here. And he'll continue to get stronger this summer. This offseason will be really big for him. This summer specifically will be really big for him. But you talk about a kid who is intentional with his approach. Like, we talk about, hey, you got to see the near hand. Hey, you got to play behind your hands, and you'll see him come out the next day, and that is what he's doing. Almost to where, like, every guy in the room is seeing what he's doing. And to be honest, that's what you hope to get in a kid, a guy that is willing to want to get better every day, take the coaching. And I've got a lot of guys in my room like that, but I would say everybody, we'll sit in a meeting and they'll all smile and laugh like, man, Landon, you are intentional about what you're doing there. You are peeking down the line. Not only are you peeking, you're staring down the line because he's trying to be intentional about getting better. So, but to answer your question, like, he's got the tools you want. Now it's just trying to develop and get him stronger, get him in game-ready position. So, but I'm so glad he's here. He's been a great addition.
Trey Smith seems like a guy who's taken a big step this offseason. Just where has he grown the most in your eyes?
So I challenged Trey right when I got here, and what was cool about all these guys and the guys that were here was there was a clean slate when I got here. And I told them, you can show me. You have a clean slate. You can show me what you're capable of. And to be honest, his approach, his physicality, and the way, like, he's respected by his teammates because of his approach is the biggest thing with him. I think everybody on the team sees the work that he puts in. He's consistent in what he does. He's got a routine every day. And again, taking the meeting room to the field, taking the individual drills to the field, taking coaching, he's been incredible with that. And I'm honestly, all my guys in the room have been I'm just proud of the way that they have owned and continued to grow. I think all of them have grown in a lot of ways, and they've seen the results of taking the coaching, being intentional about their actions, and we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Not only obviously had great success at the MAC level the last 2 years, what are you seeing this spring that makes you think you can replicate that, or does he have a ways to go to be able to have that kind of impact at the Big Ten level?
He's right there. I think it's his approach. His approach is going to give him a chance every day, and he's another guy that is super respected by everybody because of the way he approaches it. He is the veteran aspect of playing a lot of ball, and even then, still taking the coaching, still understanding areas that he can grow. That's what's gonna end up helping him more than anything. Like, it's not you wouldn't know out here that he has had the success he had based off his approach. Sometimes guys, they can relax or I made it, or I've been here before. He's not that at all. His humility, his gratitude, and the way he approaches each day will give him a chance to replicate that.
We talked to CJ Madden at the start of camp, and there was a lot of talk about his leadership back then. Just what's impressing you right now about him as a rush in?
So we're getting him to attack, to be honest. I think there was some habits that he had of not necessarily getting off the ball, not striking his hands the way they needed to. And yes, his leadership and all that, but his football play has continued to grow and improve. And I think like he's got, again, like you mentioned Landon Burks earlier, he's another guy with a lot of tools that you can use and mold. And I think the way that he is attacking tackles, the way he is getting off the ball has changed his game a little bit. I think he's becoming a better force, and I'm super proud of him. He is not only he's a guy too that even though he's got that leadership position, he's also a guy who is not fake, and he owns when he does mess up, and the guys respect him for it. And he's also a guy that has owned, like, that isn't good enough. What I did right there is not good enough, and I'm proud of him for it. He's been a delight to coach so far.
How much value is there in Breon and CJ Madden? They've been in national championship organizations before, so they know what it takes to win at the highest level.
Totally. No, I mean, I think the value you get from that is they know what it's supposed to look like. I think, CJ coming from an SEC school that had a lot of success, he knows he's been around a high expectation program, and that's obviously what we're building here. And so him kind of seeing the way we're trying to make our approach as a coaching staff and understanding, hey, I've been in this before. So that's had a lot of value. Breon, obviously, he was on a national championship team, and again, he knows what it's supposed to look like, and he knows the expectations that are set, and the minute details it takes to win a football game in the Big Ten and the SEC in high level football. I mean, you can go down the line. There's a lot of good football, but if you're playing, it's pins and needles. I said it to him today. It's like at the end of a game when you're trying to win a game in the fourth quarter, it does come down to the team that messes up the least. Like, the amount of focus you have to have one play at a time that's going to be the difference in the game. And I think those guys have at least seen that before. And to that point, I think C.J. Nunnally is another one that has seen that before. I wouldn't say it's just them, but they're also all learning in an aspect of learning what the process looks like. So,
is it too early to assess how well the pass rush and the secondary are working together, or I guess the rush ins and the secondary working together to create a pass rush, or are you guys getting an indication of that through the scrimmage?
Sure.
To spring?
It's kind of funny, and I've worked with almost every position on the field, and I understand as a defensive back how important I can't cover for 8 seconds, and coverages break down, and that's also something that we're trying to implement up front, attacking, trying to help. Like, we're better in coverage if we create pressure on the quarterback, if we affect the quarterback. And we don't necessarily talk about sacks all the time, but we talk about generating pressure, how can we affect him off his mark? How can we get him thinking about what's in front of him instead of what's downfield? So I have definitely seen growth in that aspect. Our defensive backs trusting the D-line, and then the D-line, hey, we got to uphold our end. We got to make sure that they're not covering for 6 to 8 seconds. I think there's a very much understanding of that.